Construction is complete on a wind farm that recently became operational in Downeast, Maine. Will Wagner has more about what this means for the area.
We saw an opportunity, and through thick and thin, that opportunity narrowed at times and expanded at times. And when the timing was right and the community accepted us, we were able to execute a world-class project.
A ribbon cutting was held Wednesday at a new operations facility in Columbia as Apex Energy's Downeast Wind project recently went online. We're told the power from the turbines goes into the regional grid. The company has committed funding to a variety of organizations in Washington County, benefiting everything from first responders to salmon passage, which is in addition to tax revenue.
We've got $1.2 million as a down payment on the long-term economic benefits Downeast Wind will bring to the region over the next 20 years. Massively grateful for your partnership.
Over the course of the project, about half of the benefit comes through these direct payments to county government and the town of Columbia. There also is another part through the tax increment financing district that will create kind of new tax revenues for economic development that the town of Columbia and Washington County government can use over the next 20 years to invest in local economic development.
With the turbines online, it also brought an upgrade to power infrastructure and, in turn, will boost grid reliability within the area.
Versant collaborated with Apex and GE on installing this technology at our Tunk Lake substation. And we also had a lot of work to do with protection and control of our system to make sure that we integrate this new power source in safely and maintain reliable service to our customers.
Commissioners hope the project's success will encourage further investments in Washington County.
That this project was both proposed for Washington County and got to the finish line and now is operating. And I think that will be encouraging for other investors who are considering making this sort of multi-year, $100 million plus commitment to a community. And we're really hopeful that this paves the way for some of those future investments.
Will Wagner, WABI News, Columbia.